Now, after understanding the retinal processing of visual information, remember the information from the ganglion cells does not directly go to the cortex. It will relay in the lateral geniculate body, and lateral geniculate body, or we also call it as lateral geniculate nucleus, it's a part of thalamus. I think what we need to understand is all the sensory information will be relayed in the thalamus except olfaction. It can be fine touch, it can be pain, temperature, it can be hearing, it can be vision. Any special senses or any general sensations will be relayed in the thalamus. So, thalamus will act like a relay station. If I'm talking about visual pathway, remember thalamus is a relay station between the retina and the visual cortex. Your lateral geniculate body will receive the input from the retinal ganglion cells and sends it to the cortex. Remember, cortex it mainly projects to area number V1 where the initial processing takes place. Okay, that is called primary visual cortex. That is area number 17. Now, let us understand about the lateral geniculate body or the nucleus. In its histological section, if you observe, it has 6 distinct layers, and each layer will have a specific functions. Okay. Now, layer 1 and 2, they receive input from the magnocellular or parasol ganglion cells, and we call this layer. These two are the magnocellular layers. So remember, magnocellular ganglion cells will project to magnocellular layers of the lateral geniculate body. And the main function of this layer 1 and 2 is to detect motion. It will help us in detecting the flicker movements and contrast. So these three are main function of magnocellular layers. The layers 3 to 6, no, they receive input from the parvocellular ganglion cells, and they mainly function or help us in identifying the color and finer details of the image what you're seeing. So parvocellular layer is mainly will help us in seeing color. Clear? And magnocellular layer will mainly help us in detecting motion. Clear? Right. Now, each lateral geniculate body receives input from both the eyes. Remember, now what I've drawn here is only the left lateral geniculate nucleus or lateral geniculate body. I've drawn the left side. So there will be 6 more layers on the right side. Right? So this is the right lateral geniculate body which I'm not referring to. So if you see the left lateral geniculate nucleus, now it receives the information from both right and left eye, because you know at the optic chiasma the nasal retinal fibers are crossing over. So the information or it will be relayed in a particular layer. So what I've written here is I, C. What I've written here is this is the ipsilateral or contralateral. That is the C refers to contralateral, I refers to ipsilateral. So remember layer 1, okay, so the layer 1 and layer 4 and layer 6, it receives input from the contralateral eye, meaning from the right eye the fibers are reaching layer 6, layer 4 and layer 1. So remember 146 receives the impulses from the contralateral eye. Layer 235 receive impulses from the same eye, from the left eye, from the ipsilateral eye. The layer 235 receives inputs. So even though both the eyes will send input, remember lateral geniculate body will keep them strictly separated. Clear? So now what you need to understand here is this your lateral geniculate body does not just passively relay the information here. It actually modulates, or there is some amount of modification which happens to the visual signals which come to the lateral geniculate body from the retina. So it receives input from the retina and sends it to your visual cortex, right? That is a V1 area. So remember, the fibers which are going to the visual cortex are called as optic radiations, right? So the processing what happens in the visual lateral geniculate body, some amount of like informations may not be sent to the cortex at all here, because the cortex actually will tell the lateral geniculate body what information is important and what needs to be sent actually. So there's a feedback between the lateral geniculate body and the visual cortex which will be continuously be happening. Okay, so now just to summarize what we learned till now, there are lateral geniculate body has 6 layers, right? It is a thalamic relay station, and this segregates the magnocellular parvocellular inputs which is coming from the retina, okay, and it maintains eye specific organization happens here, meaning inputs from the contralateral eye and the ipsilateral eye, they are separated, okay, and there is some amount of modulation which happens to the visual signals before it is projected to the visual cortex. So hope you have understood the structure and function of lateral geniculate body.